I'm here with Lamar Gafford. He is the sports guy for the Town Talk. Is it okay if I say sports guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, start over.
Okay.
All right. I'm here with Lamar Gafford at the Town Talk. He is the sports guy for the Town Talk. If you need to know anything about sports, anything, talk to him. So I just want to get to know him and see what's going on and how he's handling COVID-19. So how have you handled the stress of reporting the news while during the pandemic?
It's been an adjustment. I know I'm here in the office with you right now, but typically I've just been having to work from home a little bit. So of course that's kind of been an adjustment, not going too many places other than signings here and there. The good part about working at home is just it allows you to be a little comfortable in trying to get your work done a little bit more instead of having to go into place to place. But then again, that's the bad part of it too, because I get a little bit too comfortable when I'm at the house. Of course, watching TV and all that other good stuff there. But we've kind of found a way to make it work.
Okay, and what gets you motivated to get up every morning to report the news?
Oh man, there's just so much stuff. I guess doing like feature stories on kids is very important. I mean, going to the games, seeing great talented players, at least being at that building block to get into that next level, college, maybe even professional. That's one of the things here that really looks that I enjoy about my job. But then also like doing feature stories on the kid that maybe just trying to get to know them a little bit. Especially what they've gone through just to get to those places. Sometimes we have some fun stories, sometimes we have some very serious stories, but just getting to know these players and getting to know the community out there.
Okay, and what or who inspired you to start working in journalism?
Oh man, Stuart Scott from the ESPN. I always wanted to be as cool as him, watching him during Sports Center. Back in the 90s as a kid, and I was like, I really want to be that type of guy one of these days. And so I kind of wanted to be like them. Sometimes when I would turn down, like I played video games a whole lot when I was a kid. So if I played a sports video game, sometimes I would just turn down the volume a little bit and act like I was calling the game or something like that. And so I think that kind of really got my start in there. He's one. Stephen A. Smith was another one. Gus Johnson's another one. And just so many out there to name here. I mean, I would just be, doing a disservice if I leave anybody out.
Okay. And what are your future goals for your career?
Hopefully one of these days just to get to a bigger place, like maybe like an ESPN or New York Times or something like that, and then or working for a bigger market, hopefully like New York, Los Angeles, LA, Dallas, somewhere like that. So hopefully that is the place that I really want to try to be at. But if I can't get there, I mean, I'm enjoying doing what I can do. And if not, hey, we'll figure something out.
Okay, and who are you influenced by besides, or just Stuart Scott, or do you have someone else that you look up to?
I really look up to one of our former writers around here that we have, Bob Tompkins. He was actually, when I got here in December 2014 and before his retirement in 2015, he was kind of like the guy that kind of showed me the ropes around here a little bit. And so it's like, you got a guy here that for 43 years had been a writer, and just, I think they purposely did it like this, but they had me sit right up next to him with everything. So I kind of learned a little bit about how to be a writer. But most importantly, when I first got here with the Town Talk, I mean, I had about, people that was teaching me had like 90 years of experience. You had Bob, you had Brett McCormick, you also had Jeff Matthews out there, you also had Randy Benson. So all those guys, I think they really did a very good job in helping me out. And also some of the guys in Shreveport, Scott Farrell, Roy Lang, Jimmy Watson.
Okay, and how did you get your first job in journalism?
So I was an intern back in Shreveport, working for the Shreveport Times, because I just reached out to actually Scott about trying to intern with him, because I tried to go out for the big intern jobs, couldn't get them. So I felt like, well, I guess the most important thing is let's try to go for home. And so I remember that, I think 15 minutes into my internship, they asked me to do something and turned in a story from them, and that was pretty much it. Right after I graduated with them, I guess me having a good rapport with them over the time with the times, um, it kind of enabled me or allowed me to become a stringer for them. And so I was doing things like track and field, baseball some of the times, but most importantly, I was doing some football stuff. And so I think if it wasn't for them, probably wouldn't be in this situation right now working, because they really helped me out in there.
Okay, and what advice would you give, journalists, black journalists especially, who are dealing with, covering news about, controversial subjects like George Floyd?
Man, report the news. Just be you. I mean, just report the news. Be the fact. Give the facts out there, and you know, I would probably say don't be too controversial out here, but just continue to report the news and stand up for what you believe in and all that stuff. So, um, you don't necessarily need to compromise yourself um, in order to let people know that you're very concerned about this subject, because it's really affecting all of us out here. As I said before, I'm kind of, I'm fed up. I know everybody else is fed up right now too. So, we all need healing at this point as well. So just continue just to, report the news and, speak up for what you believe in.
And what have you learned working during the pandemic?
Um, Zoom calls have been very, very important. I would say. So that's kind of what I learned from that, and I think everybody else is going through it too. We did a series where we had a lot of senior high school players, where we were just talking to them, baseball, softball, track and field, and just trying to get to know what they are going through, because most of them, they felt crushed that their senior season is over and all that stuff. Now some of them are going on to the next level. That's a good thing. But then for some of them, they're not playing anymore, and so that really hurt me when we got the call that the season had been canceled. I felt bad for them, because I enjoy going to Sulphur and seeing softball and baseball that time too. But you know, I think getting the chance to see them in Zoom, and then just doing other things here, I think that kind of helps out a little bit.
Okay, and what is the most exciting part about sports?
Oh man, it's just so much. But getting a chance to see, like I said, the players at the next before they get onto the next level. Like, we have some good athletes around here. Some of them get a chance to go to college, so getting a chance to see them being like, oh, I remember I saw them first or something like that. I think especially when we get some of the guys like from across the state that you only hear about, but they don't come here until except for probably like once every blue moon or something like that. Getting a chance to see some of that talent there, and you can just be like that guy, like, I see why they're good. So, just that's something I enjoy, and I think the other part I enjoy about it here is I not only get these kids for 4 years, I get these kids for 8 years, because I cover LC, um, NSU, and also LSUA. So I think that's a big part of my job there.